18 seniors graduated from last season's squad that went 8-3 and ended their season in the district semifinals. Returning on the offensive side is senior quarterback Jarrett Johnson and lineman Braden Eisenbeis, Ryan Schupert, and Lane Reynolds. Schupert, Reynolds, and Eisenbeis returned on the defensive side as well, along with free safety Elijah Richardson. Festus will look to Logan Byerly, Ethan Keller, Zach DeRoos, Robbie Robinson, and Cade Stevenson and others to fill in around them. Head coach Russ Schmidt says the new starters are experienced.
We had a rotation last year. We'll have a rotation this year, so they know what it's like to be under the lights. And a lot of those new guys that I've spoken about, they were on special teams last year for us and contributed in that way. And they also were, number 2 and number 3 rotating in the early part of the season when we were battling the heat. And played a significant role in those games. So to say that they haven't played on Friday night would be a disservice.
However, Schmidt doesn't like to use the word starter and wants to have multiple players to put in spots.
You're out there trying to prepare to win a football game, but you're also preparing to beat the elements. And we're concerned about that heat again this year, and the season starting earlier and earlier. We're just trying to create depth. It's one thing we talked about as a staff. We want to make sure we got kids 2 and 3 deep. At least knowing where to line up correctly and knowing a little bit about something before we get into week 1, as opposed to waiting later in the season so that we're in a position to win a football game.
Comparing this year's football team to those in years past, Schmidt thinks they won't be as explosive offensively as they have been before, but still expects them to move the football and score points at a good clip. The biggest difference is the youth of the team and how they'll react to adversity.
That's the thing as a head coach I look at, how do we deal with adversity in practice and try to use that as a learning tool so that when we do get in a football game, it doesn't compromise our success.
Lineman Ryan Schupert takes on an increased role as a senior leader this season. With a lot of young players, he says they have to help those younger players.
We have to push them harder. We have to talk to them more. We have to teach them. They try to slack off. We got to push them harder because we know they're going to be in our games and the games playing, and we're all a team and we all need to be together.
Senior lineman Braden Eisenbeis says one of the ways to help their teammates is to stress that they are a part of a family.
We're more than just a team. We're like brothers out here. Everybody has each other's back, and we know we can rely on each other. And last year, the seniors really emphasized that and made sure everybody felt welcomed. And this job, the new sophomores coming in, that's my job, that's the other seniors' jobs, to get them involved, to get them feeling as part of a team and not just or a part of a family, not just part of a team. They're not just at practice. They're somewhere they can be safe and be themselves, and we're not going to get judged for that.
A position of strength over the last couple of years amongst the Tigers has been their kicker and punter. Sophomore Chase Cole will step into that role this year. Schmidt says he'll fill in nicely.
We don't lessen our expectations. The kids know they have to work to those expectations. So he knows that we've had a good history of kickers, and he certainly wants to become a part of that. And we support him. I mean, he's the kids. He's one of the first ones out here at practice in the morning, already working on his craft.
Logan Byerly is expected to be their punter. Festus has won at least a share of the conference championship 5 years in a row. They won it outright last year and have the goal of doing the same this year. They also want to advance past districts, something they haven't done since 2011.
We've not been successful having done that in the last several years, and I told the kids, I said, we don't become complacent with just winning the conference championships, win the district championships, and go in the sectionals and quarter, and push that ladder and push the ceiling on our season.
Those are their overall goals for their season, but each week their goal is to win that Friday's game. Schmidt says right now they're focused on week 1.
Winning that first game, I think, is critical to the start of a football season for anybody. You win that first game, and it has a snowball, kind of an avalanche effect for you in your success. So, our goal right now is to focus on week 1 and the Westminster Wildcats and see what we can do with that.
Festus opens the season at home against Westminster Christian Academy. They play all 4 conference games consecutively between weeks 3 and 6. Reporting for Regional Radio Sports, I'm Tommy Self.